What's up, guys? This is Tony B. Hunting Figs. Man, I decided to give you a quick in-car, semi-spoiler review of Alien Romulus. Sorry, it's been a long day. I went straight from training all day, home, quickly changed, and then came down to the movies to check out Alien Romulus today. If those of you who obviously don't know, I'm a big Aliens fan. I love the lore. I love Alien and Aliens. Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, they're okay in their own universe, weird way. But man, Alien and Aliens, I could watch that. I don't know. I even watched it more being hyped to catch Alien Romulus. So those are like movies I could just keep on watching over and over and feel like I'm always discovering something new, and I'm always trying to read into the lore. I've been trying to get into the Dark Horse comics. So I'm going to try to get into that to read even more of the lore that they've created in the comics. But I have to say, I'm very delighted in what I saw. I will say it wasn't too scary. You had a couple of jump scares, but the tension was really high. That's what you want in that type of movie. I love Prometheus. I was disappointed that they tried not to connect it to the Alien franchise at first. And then when Alien Covenant came out, I like it as well, and I was hyped. But then they reverted. I wanted to know more about that timeline, and then they reverted back. And I guess they figure, hey, we gotta introduce the xenomorph because that's what makes money. And they were both, I guess, lackluster. So I didn't think that they would make a Alien movie for a while. And I guess technically they didn't. 2017 is when Covenant came out. And I liked them both. Not as much as Alien and Aliens, but I do like those two. AVP, that's a story for a different day. But as you guys know, this Alien Romulus takes place between Alien and Aliens. And I think it's LV-426. I feel like that's the planet, but it might be a different one. But it makes sense since they have a colony there. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a different planet. The actors, I don't know who they are. They're brand new young people, but they did really good in the role. I like how they introduce, like, I've never seen the way the alien cocoons. Like, we always see the chest burster come out and then it runs away, but we never see how big it gets. So I like how they implemented, and that could have been in the lore that I don't know about, but that's the first time I've seen how the alien actually recocoons itself, I guess is what I'm calling it. And that's where it grows until it finishes and it bursts out that cocoon and is fully grown. So I thought that was cool to see. I like the callback to Ash. I think his name was Rourke. So the CGI was a little funny in the face. You could tell, I don't know if you want to call it a deep fake, but I could appreciate them putting the Ash looking android back into the movie. So I thought that was dope. And I guess they had like the same directive as Ash. I like how they did tie in the Prometheus movies to this by Rourke mentioning how they kind of perfected, they try to perfect humankind because they're dying off. So then they ended up extracting something from the face huggers, some type of liquid that they can shoot into the human that could regenerate them. And they tested it on rats. They showed the scene where they crushed the rat, and then the rat kind of like reforms itself. But then later on, it shows that the serum didn't work anyway because it mutated the rat until it like died. So their mission was to get that to the company, which is Weyland-Yutani. And that serum was supposed to go back to the company for further testing so that they can implement it and shoot it into humans, so humans can, what Weyland wanted was like to live like to be immortal, and that's why he wanted to see the engineers and thought that he could find the key to immortality. He didn't, he died, but I guess eventually, centuries later or hundreds of years later, I guess they were still able to grab that same alien from the first movie, which they said the aliens can go on pretty much for I don't know how many years. I don't know if they're immortal, but apparently they can survive in space without any food, and it naturally cocoons itself to survive. And after the Nostromo, which you see pieces of the Nostromo in Alien Romulus at the beginning, and they were able to extract the little cocoon that was floating in space that the alien that Ripley shot out, cocooned itself, was able to survive. The company tracked it down in the wreckage. They brought it to Romulus, which was a space station, to test it. And then obviously they were able to extract it from the cocoon, bring it into, I guess, the Romulus for testing. And then obviously it went on a killing spree and everybody in the Romulus was killed. And that's where you meet Rourke, which they reactivate him because they find him kind of cut in half. I like Andy, the android that was with Rain, which is the main character. I like Rain. I like the way she played it. She played the part really well. I like the actor that played Andy. I think he did an excellent job as the android. So I think I liked his character, how it was like kind of like innocent, and his objective, which you learn from Rain because her parents died. Her father put his main objective is to do what's best for Rain. So they have a brother and sister relationship. Fast forward when they're on the Romulus and they're trying to extract pods so they can sleep in the pods and go to this other planet that's supposed to be a nice planet where there's actually sunlight, and that's where Rain wants to go. So they need this fuel for the pods. So what happens is once chaos ensues, because they're in that room trying to get the fuel, they accidentally trip an alarm, and in that same room is where they had a bunch of face huggers frozen. The heat rises, all the face huggers obviously come loose, and then all hell breaks loose. So they're trying to fast forward, they're trying to figure out what to do, so they reactivate Rourke, which is the Ash android lookalike, and they're trying to save the two friends that's locked with the face huggers, but Andy doesn't have the access to get into that room because he usually pokes his finger in the computer and the door's open. So they had to insert a part of Rourke's chip into Andy, which kind of transformed Andy from being innocent to like super serious and all about the company. So he was able to gain access, and his objective changed from doing what's best for Rain to was doing what's best for the company and to complete the mission. That's what Rourke said. And it was basically to get those canisters full of that liquid needles to go down and be further tested. So obviously one of the friends injects it with herself, and she was already pregnant, and she gives birth to this crazy looking alien. I like how they implemented, obviously they use special effects for a lot of the aliens, but for the last alien at the end, and I think for most of the other aliens in the early scene, they use practical effects, which you can't go wrong with practical effects. The dopest scene to me was when Rain was firing at the xenomorphs that were trying to chase her and Andy, and the only way they could kind of escape was for her to turn the gravity on, because apparently on that ship it purges every so often where the gravity disappears and then you're floating and then it comes back, and then you know there's gravity and then the gravity leaves, something like that. But it was dope because she turned off the gravity, everybody starts floating, and especially the aliens. She starts firing, she's killing all of them, but then it hasn't purged yet, so there's still no gravity. So her and Andy are floating, and obviously when you shoot the xenomorphs, they have acid for blood. So that's floating around and she has to maneuver. So that was a unique, interesting scene that obviously they've never showed in any of the Alien movies. So I thought that was dope. Overall, I don't want to keep this too long, go in depth. Something that I want to watch again. See if anything I missed, maybe a third time, I don't know. But besides Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm happy that this is 2 for 2 of movies that I was hype about. That Deadpool and Wolverine, I was pleasantly surprised. It was okay, but this movie I was really happy with the end product, and I would definitely give it out of 5 stars. I'll give it 4 stars. I'll give it 4 stars. I'm really interested to know what's gonna happen, how they're gonna take it from there. If they're gonna come up with a sequel that still takes place in between. I wonder if they're gonna do something after Aliens. I wonder if this is really gonna tie into what happened to LV-426. Oh man, I got a lot of questions, but we'll see what happens. But I definitely recommend it. I think you should check it out. It's like I said, it's a pretty good movie. I think if you haven't followed the Alien franchise, you may not get some of the little Easter eggs, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more, but I don't think it's required viewing. If anything, it will probably make you want to see the other ones. But I would definitely recommend you just got to see Alien and Aliens. You don't have to see Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Alien vs. Predator, Alien vs. Predator, Requiem. You don't got to see any of those. Just those 2 would be required viewing, and then you'd enjoy it. But I hope you like my review. Tell me what you thought. Please like and subscribe. Also follow me on Instagram at 20B Hunting Figs, and hopefully I'll bring you some more videos and some more reviews like this on the cuff. Peace.